He's been a colourful presence on the nation's political scene for decades, and now Maverick federal MP Bob Katter is trying to put his stamp on the looming state election. Only months after launching his Australian party, he's merging with state MP Aidan McLindon's Queensland party. With 6 months or less before Queenslanders go to the polls, this new marriage could be seen as something of a shotgun wedding. And the honeymoon was short-lived. Not a day had gone by before Queensland Party members started complaining they were left out of the loop. Kieran McKechnie reports.
It's time to stop listening to Bob Katter with your eyes, and it's time to start listening with your ears.
And you don't want to take us lightly. These people think we're about politics. You make a terrible bad mistake. And if you think there's not going to be blood on the carpet, again, you're making a terrible bad mistake.
We will be flying like butterflies and stinging like bees, as from today onwards.
They're the new political duo, hoping to change things around in Queensland.
We're just going to swap these around.
Veteran federal MP Bob Katter has teamed up with relative newcomer Aidan McLindon in somewhat of a merger.
Righto, Bob, let's get this show.
Katter's Australian party has swallowed up McLindon's Queensland party.
I personally most certainly come to the table with great experience in politics and I would like to say a fairly unprecedented string of successes. Now, the youth and enthusiasm that comes with Aidan makes a very, very formidable combination indeed.
Formidable is certainly not the word political analyst Scott Prasser would use.
It's a case of one irrelevant party joining another irrelevant party still makes one irrelevant party.
He says on Queensland's highly turbulent political landscape, the Australian party won't cause so much as a ripple.
I don't think it has any resonance in the southeast corner at all. We've had really a couple of new parties emerge. The LNP is a merged party. It's now been going for a couple of years. They've now finally got their act together to try and bring out another party at this late stage, a party which is really identified around a person, not around a set of principles or beliefs or actions. I think it's going to be a very hard sell.
Especially, he says, when that sell is Bob Katter. By his supporters, he's seen as a straight shooter who stands up for farming interests in his federal seat of Kennedy.
To stir up the stupid people in the cities of Australia who think that bananas come out of packets.
But more often he's seen as a maverick and at times a relic of the Bjelke-Petersen government in which he served.
I get in a lot of fights.
Why don't stand back here, I might get something, I might catch something.
His new political partner is Aidan McLindon, a one-term MP who in just 18 months has gone from serving on the LNP's backbench to dumping the party to turn independent to launching his own Queensland party.
I think McLindon has tried to attach himself to a bigger star, but it's a star that only illuminates in certain parts of Australia. Bob Katter has some interesting views. Some people agree with, some people don't agree with. But if you sit down and look at what has Bob Katter really achieved for North Queensland, at the end of the day, not a great deal except a celebrity status. And that's what we're talking about here, a celebrity status for a political party. And that doesn't work.
Yet they're trying to tap into the celebrity status of another political player of days gone by. The pair is keen to remind sceptics about Pauline Hanson's emergence from obscurity to political stardom at the helm of One Nation.
Pauline Hanson, and let me quote Bob Borbidge, not one of my fans, and he said, "This is Pauline Hanson with a cowboy hat." Well, I'll take that. She got 23% of the vote, smashed to pieces his government, and with another 6,000 votes would have had over 20 seats. Now, she did that with no experience in politics whatsoever. We come here as a much more considered vehicle.
I don't think this is going to be a repetition of the One Nation Pauline Hanson tidal wave. Very different circumstances, and I think this is a minor irritation rather than a major issue.
The major players don't have the same confidence. With the state elections still potentially 6 months away, both leaders have been quick to put their spin on the newest player on the political scene.
I think what we really are seeing is the old National Party of Queensland regrouping. And I think some of that is born out of disillusionment with the Liberal leadership.
If people want to muck around with independents and minor parties, we'll have the same result that you have in the federal parliament, which is a disaster for our nation.
But the new political duo says Labor and the LNP only have themselves to blame. They say this week's merger is a marriage born of disillusionment with the major parties.
If we're taking votes off a party, then they should have thought about that before they smashed industry after industry after industry.
I say now the time for gutlessness and the time for the mob of jellyfish is over. We're not going to get it right all the time, but I tell you what, we're going to be damnedest to put our best foot forward.
Kieran McKechnie reporting.